Watching, guys. All right, so I'm gonna do one last playoff sim for the rest of the season. I'm not gonna do any more after this. I think I did one like 2 months or like when the playoffs first started, and it was way off. But now it's narrowed down to the final four. So we got Nashville against Anaheim, and we got Ottawa against Pittsburgh. Now, here's my thoughts on the real world and what happened. Like, I don't really have anything to say for the Eastern Conference Final. I mean, I kind of knew Pittsburgh would make it all the way. I thought it was open season pretty much on the Atlantic Division side of things. But it looks like it's going to be Ottawa against Pittsburgh and Nashville against Anaheim. The only gripe I have about this Final Four, Anaheim. I feel like Anaheim should have been eliminated in 6 games. Game 5, I really feel Edmonton got robbed. That was blatant goaltender interference, and the goal was allowed. They came back in overtime and won the game. Edmonton won Game 6 like 7-1 or something like that, or 7-0. I forget the score. The score, but it was like a blowout. And last night it was a close game. They were up 1-0. I was like, okay, Edmonton, you know, they're gonna get the win, and it's gonna be Nashville Edmonton. But now it's gonna be Nashville Anaheim. Now, Edmonton Oilers fans, like, you guys have a lot to look forward to, man. I mean, you guys got decent goaltending. I really feel like your GM's gonna improve the defense. You guys got already a good young D core, and the offense on your team is like next to none. It's like you guys are really Edmonton fans. I mean, I wish we had that on the Habs. I mean, we don't really have too much to look forward to, but Edmonton guys, if I got any Edmonton fans out there, man, you guys have a lot to look forward to. But with that said, I hope Nashville sweeps, because they shouldn't even be in the Western Final. Like, I don't even believe. Like, I saw when I saw that they won, I was like, oh boy, here we go. I'm like, come on, man. Like, that's robbery. I'm not even a fan. I'm not even an Edmonton fan. So I could only imagine what y'all are going through. But you know, I'm just gonna do a sim. If I could predict from now, I think Nashville will get through, and I think it can go 7 games between Ottawa and Pittsburgh. I feel like Ottawa has enough offense, and they have enough desperation to go head-to-head with a team like Pittsburgh. The only thing that Pittsburgh has is they have experience, which goes a long way in the playoffs, especially at this point in the playoffs. So I'm just gonna do the sim for the first game. I'm not gonna waste too much time. We're just gonna go period by period. Okay, gonna go to overtime. Yes, I really hope this happens in real life. Like, I'm not even going for Anaheim in this game. Like, they're getting no love from this sim. Sorry, Anaheim fans. I mean, I'm sure you guys are happy. I'm sure you guys want to see another cup, but man, come on. Anyone who watched that game in Game 5, Ryan Kesler was pretty much holding his Cam Talbot's pads. I mean, they made memes about it, with him skating around with Cam Talbot's pads in his arms. Like, this man was interfering. Like, if they made the goalie interference rule for anything, it was for that moment, and they totally blew it. But anyways, all right, enough of that. Let's get back to the sim. Now, I think EA will let Pittsburgh onto the. I mean, Pittsburgh just has too much offense. I think they'll just go all the way to the finals. All right, so now we got Game 2. Seems like a tight game. Second game going to overtime, and now that Game 2 goes to the Ducks. All right, so 1-1 there. I just think it's going to be a sweep. I just think it's going to be a sweep between these two teams here. Oh, maybe not. All right, 1-1. So everyone's squared off after 2 games. Home advantage switches now to Nashville. Let's see what they can do. Nashville's having one heck of a year at home. in the playoffs, by the way. And Anaheim's gonna take game 2. Game 3, sorry. Alright, let's go. It'd be sick to see if we could have a 2007 rematch between Ottawa and Anaheim, except this time Ottawa wins. I think it's time for the Cup to come back to Canada, man. I mean, it's been in every, it's been with the Americans for so long now. And no disrespect to, America and the American teams. They have good teams. But it'd be nice, man, just to see, the Cup come back to Canada. Even if it's not my favorite team, it'd be nice to see that. Okay, another game going to overtime. And I think Nashville ties it up, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. All right. I don't know what's going on with Pittsburgh here in this sim, but I'm telling you, man, that's why I think Ottawa, they might cause a surprise. I wouldn't put it past Ottawa to get past Pittsburgh. But they'll have to be on their game. I don't think they could, like, if you watch the Ottawa-New York game, like, a lot of situations, I don't think, like, when Pittsburgh, I think, was it? Yeah, I think, like, one game, New York was up, like, 4-1 or 5-2 in the third, and they let Ottawa come back to win it 6-5 or 5-4 or something like that. Like, I don't think that stuff will happen against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I just think they're too strong of a defensive team to let something like that happen. And so I'd be very shocked to see something like that. But yeah, they're just gonna have to be on their game, like from start to finish. But I think they can give a challenge to Pittsburgh, that's for sure. So we'll wait and see what happens. Overtime. Oh, Pittsburgh takes the lead. I think they'll take the series. All right, we got game 6 here. Wow. Yeah, I think Nashville. Oh, maybe not. Nashville moves to the to the finals. I kind of see that. I mean, it's kind of, for me, it's kind of obvious. I mean, they just swept Chicago. They went through 6 games against St. Louis. I mean, they've had a lot of good teams to face, or they had. I feel out of all the teams in the playoffs, they face the harder teams. So I think they're more built to go to the finals. But again, you never know. These sims could be way off, and nothing happens like what we're seeing now. So you never know. Oh, Ottawa holding on for dear life. Oh gosh, 7 games. All right. Going up to 7 games. All right. Now, like I said, see, I called it from the beginning. I think it really can go 7 games. It can go either way. The determining factor is going to be Ottawa's defense and Craig Anderson. Craig Anderson, he's had offense to help him. Like, I've watched this guy in past playoffs. I mean, he usually is a shutdown goaltender. He could shut down teams with his play. But it seems like, I don't know. I don't know if it's just having an off year, or we know he has personal things going on in his life right now, so that could be a distraction in his mind, where he's not able to focus as much and that's understandably so, right? So we don't know, but obviously if you're Ottawa Senators fan, you know what I'm saying is true. It's not to bash or anything like that. It's just the truth. His game has not been 100%, but if he could pull it together, if he could come through with, a strong series here, I think Ottawa could even take Pittsburgh out in 4 games. I'm sorry, 6 games, or even 5 games, just because Ottawa has a lot of offense and they have a lot of young legs, and I feel like they're just as fast, they're just as creative as the Pittsburgh Penguins. Just Pittsburgh Penguins have more experience coaching and more experienced players. They've had players on this team, virtually the same crop of players from last year. Also, Crosby's a little shaken up. You have to admit. You know, so I don't know if he's going to be 100%. You know, you got a lot of hard-hitting guys on the Senators. That might be a factor. We don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. But I think Ottawa can surprise some folks, man. So I wouldn't put it past Ottawa to even go to the Cup final this year, to tell you the truth. But yeah, we'll do this sim. Oh, Ottawa jumps out to a 2-0 lead. Yep, Ottawa wins. I'm telling you guys, I have a feeling about Ottawa, man, this year. I don't know if they're going to win the Cup, but I feel like they could definitely make it all the way to the finals. I really do. And even win the Cup. Like, they put themselves in a very good situation right now. I feel like if they get past Pittsburgh, then they have a very good chance to win the Cup. I just have that feeling. That's just me. It's not even analytics or anything like that. It's just, it's sheer intuition. But anyways, let's do the Cup final here. All right, 1-1, 2-2. Ottawa takes game 1. All right, let's see what happens in game 2. Let's go. And it looks like, yep, game 2 goes to the Preds. Series switches over to Nashville. All right. Game 3 to Ottawa. 2-1 lead for Ottawa. Let's see if they could just close it out. They say you're not in trouble in the playoffs until you lose at home. I think they've gained the home ice advantage back. So let's see what they can do. Oh, this one's gonna go back and forth. I think it's going for 6 or 7. Well, yeah, it's gonna go to 6. Or I think it's gonna go to 7 games. Nashville could end it. This time I'll just let the sim go out. I may just run. I may, if it's like, okay, yeah. If Ottawa wins this game in game 7, whoever's winning with like 5 minutes to go, I'll just sim it down to like 30 seconds just so we could have a bit of a presentation thing, and just not, you know, I just don't want it to say this team wins, and you know, I want you to see the visual and stuff. But yeah, it looks like it's going to game 7 here. So like I said, I honestly feel Ottawa could win it, and they have home ice advantage if they get to the finals against Nashville. So we'll see what happens. I mean, you never know. You just never know. When you get to the playoffs, you never know, man. If you start playing well in the playoffs, ain't no telling where you can go, man. All right, let's do the sim on this thing. Oh, Nashville's holding on to that lead. Yeah, so Nashville's gonna go on to win their first ever Stanley Cup. Yeah, they're pretty much they're the conquerors, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll just go and do the Stanley Cup presentation here. So yeah, man, 14 seconds to go, 4-0. I think it's pretty safe to say Nashville wins in the sim. But hey, I've done other sims earlier on in the year. I didn't record them, I didn't put them online, I just did it just because. And it seems like Nashville won the cup a couple of times. Nashville and Minnesota. You know, so we never know. So I think Nashville can do it, but I also think in the real world, I don't know if it's because I'm Canadian, but I think honestly it's gonna go to Ottawa. I think like Ottawa could cause a surprise, so we'll see what happens. But it would really suck for Ottawa to lose twice getting to the Cup final and not being able to do the job. But I mean, Ottawa had a really good season this year. And hey, if Nashville wins the Cup, you know PK is gonna bring that cup to the Montreal Children's Hospital. Hey, and he would have fulfilled his promise. He said he wanted to bring a cup to Montreal, and he's gonna do it indirectly. So it'd be something to see. I would love to see that, because I like Shea Weber, but I'm not a big fan of that trade.
It's the hardest prize to win because it takes 8 weeks. And by tradition, the
and as a side note, man, I really hope, EA records. I hope they make some kind of interactive Stanley Cup celebration, kind of like what 2K10 did. If you guys don't know what it looks like, go YouTube it. You'll see a bunch of videos with guys just doing like interactive Stanley Cup celebration. Pretty much, you could skate around with the cup like you would with the puck, and pass it on to your players. Raise, pump the puck, pump the cup. Sorry, you know. I think they need to do something, because I mean, you go through a whole season, you go through a whole sim playing the playoffs, get through the 4 rounds to see this for the last 7, 8, 10 years. The Stanley Cup celebration is almost going through puberty, man. It's that old, you know. So I hope they record something different. But there you go, guys. The Nashville Predators are your sim Stanley Cup champions. We don't know if they'll be the actual champions, but we'll see. Right now we have 4 good teams in the final 4, so it could go either way. Doesn't mean, I mean, this sim obviously has no bearing on the real world, we know that. But yeah, Nashville, man, I think they can do it. I don't think it wouldn't be a surprise to me. I think it would have been a surprise maybe earlier on in the season if someone's actually said they're going to win the Cup, because at one point they weren't even in the playoffs, but they started to play good after Christmas, after the New Year. They really started to play good and play good defensive hockey. And I mean, for me, the biggest shock of the season, not even the playoffs, not even of Nashville in their whole season, the biggest shock for me was sweeping the Blackhawks. And I think like Rene got like 2 shutouts in the United Center. I mean, that's like not heard of. Like, that does not happen. Like, that for me was very impressive. Like, when I saw that, I was like, okay, these guys are a Cup favorite for me, because if you watch hockey, I mean, the Blackhawks are a threat to win the Cup every year since 2010, since 2009 really. But after they won the Cup, every year after that, okay, 2011 not so much, and 2012 I think they got eliminated by Phoenix in the first round in 6 games, if my memory serves me right. But after that, 2013, 14, 15, 16, even last year, and supposedly we thought this year, I mean, that's like 5 years in a row they've been a contender. So for them to shut them out in the first 2 games, for me, that was impressive. For them to do it in one game is impressive. Heck, doing it for 2 periods, shutting them out for 2 periods, that's impressive. But they did it for 2 straight games. That, and swept them. That to me is like, if you're able to do that against the Blackhawks, you can win the Cup. So Nashville, I guess if you want to look at it from from numbers and stats wise, I mean, yeah, they have a better chance of winning the Cup. I really hope they destroy the Ducks, man. Like I said, like, no disrespect to Ducks fans out there, but come on, man, you cannot disagree with Ryan Kessler holding on. He was pretty much holding on to the goalie's pad like he was scared or something. Like, he's like, oh my gosh, like, we gonna lose, and he held on to that. I couldn't believe it. Like I was watching. I was like, okay, this is gonna be disallowed, and they got 45 seconds to defend the lead. The face-off is gonna come outside of the zone, and then the guy said it's a goal. I was like, what? If I was Edmonton Oil should sue. Okay, let me get off of this commentary before I sound crazy. But anyways, there you go, guys. You guys have it. Nashville is going to win the Stanley Cup. You heard it here first. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day. Peace out.